Coming up on World's Greenest Homes. In New York, it's a green home on the move. Holy Shiva, we're moving! And oceanside in Chile, a stunning home completely off the grid.
We have the solar panels, and the water comes from the valley.
And in Toronto, what looks like a traditional home is, well,
I mean, you're really going to tell me this is a prefab home? The house went up in 6 hours.
amazing. Join us as we visit the world's greenest and most extraordinary homes on the planet.
When we think of New York, uber chic Manhattan springs to mind. But if you're like thousands of nature lovers, you'll think of the vast forests and the unique towns and villages of New York State.
And one of the state's most scenic spots is New Paltz, just a quick hour-and-a-half drive north of the Big Apple. This home is in a class by itself. It seems to have landed in the middle of nowhere, and in many ways it has, surrounded by 28 acres. It's called a dome house, which shouldn't come as a surprise.
They say what goes around comes around, and that's especially true in this unusual home away from home constructed deep in these woods.
Shiva Venkat makes smart cars for a living, so it's no wonder he wanted a distinct home for his wife Veronique and son Rohan. But who would have guessed it would look like this?
The main thing that appealed to me was the shape. And I loved the idea of a home which is environmentally clean.
Wow. I don't even know how to react. I mean, how do people react when they see this?
The wow is pretty much what comes out.
I just think people don't expect this kind of structure to be hidden in the woods.
In the woods, I mean, I don't think people expect this structure anywhere. What was the thinking that went into the layout of the space?
So actually, there is something that exists in nature that is a source of inspiration. This Nautilus chair, as you see, this is this notion of swirl. This is what we've tried to replicate here.
That scroll inspired this staircase made from spruce. That means it not only looks great, but it's strong and flexible.
The natural light pouring in is very evident. Tell me about the process of the design of choosing these windows.
We wanted to have glass base to follow the structure, the shape of it, and allow as much light as possible to come in.
The whole concept of this house is using passive solar energy.
The sun plays a huge role in the design. All the windows are double paned and have a special glazing for great insulation.
It could be 0 degrees outside. If the sun is hitting the house, the heater doesn't kick in. The sun is enough to heat the house. This is my favorite spot.
Right here.
Right here.
You're the chef?
I am the chef, yeah.
This great workspace is made from stainless steel, but a lot of thought went into its textured limestone countertop.
The idea behind the selection of material is that, you know, on an aesthetic plane, it doesn't supersede anything. It almost disappears.
Tell me about the appliances in there. Are there any eco-friendly benefits to what you're cooking
Well,
on?
most of the equipment that you have here, we chose the most efficient one, the one that has the most stars and the energy efficiency, whether it's the dishwasher or the fridge. This is really the best in the market for what we want to achieve. I mean, it's very efficient and good for the environment.
You chose a wide plank bamboo for the flooring surface, and you've taken consideration that it's an eco-friendly product to use, and you like the way it feels and flows.
It's always a combination between how it feels and how you live with it. I think it's a very eco-friendly decision, but also it's a very soft material. The choice of the color was to just be as plain as possible and not to take any strong point of view in terms of design.
The curvature of the countertop and your table here, was there any thought of ever having something, you know, linear or straight plane?
When you talk about designing a round space, you don't want things to be round for the sake of being round. It is as organic as possible.
But only half the main floor is open for all the world to see. Hidden behind the kitchen are the more intimate spaces, which of course includes the master bedroom.
Everything is custom-made so that you take advantage of the space.
And it has to be that way because it's a dome. I mean, there's nothing square about this
You can't
space.
buy
so.
stuff to put in there.
Shiva, everything is curved in here, including your bookcase.
Yeah, this bookcase we had in New York, and we loved it.
So master bath this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Careful
Watch
of
the step.
the step.
Step, and it's got a bit of a slope.
The shower is designed in such a way that the water just flows down and go through the drain. And we didn't want to close it or to have some form of border with it, so that's why we needed that little slope.
We're out in the middle of the woods, nowhere near the city. I'm just curious, where are you getting your water from? How's it getting to your house?
In the country, most houses have well water because it's too far for the town to provide the water. So water comes from the well, and then it goes through a series of filters, and then it's heated, and then it comes up here. The dome is about adapting to the season.
It's an amazing experience. You feel safe, you recharge. It's an amazing place, and totally different place to be.
So finally, we're outside, because this is where you really get the perspective of what the dome space is all about.
It's a different perspective, and it's interesting when you see it from outside because it doesn't give you the sense of volume that you have inside.
I mean, from here, look at this. You might not even know that there's a second floor here.
Yeah.
You chose a cedar shake for the roof.
Cedar is self-maintained. It has an oil that prevents it from rotting, prevents it from getting bugs, and it's a perfect type of roofing.
This feels like the spaceship has just landed. I mean, this is where you really get the sense of it.
The footprint you require to build a dome is fairly small compared to the actual size of the dome. In this case, you literally are using a very small part of the land without disturbing too much what's going on around you.
And speaking about what's going on around you, this 40-ton home spins while following the sun. No, really. But why?
In summer, you don't want the windows to face the sun, and in winter, you want it to face the sun to heat the house.
Okay, so all the good stuff's in here,
Yes.
including like the button or like whatever we do to turn this thing.
Everything, the electronics and everything.
Man, it really is everything.
You got wires everywhere.
This is the gas.
Right.
This is the sewage.
Yeah.
This is the, I think it's the electrical.
You can't tell what's what, Shiva. I mean, how do you know?
No, this is the gas. This is the central vacuum cleaner.
Wow, that's even down here.
That's even down here.
I feel like I'm Medusa in here. Like snakes are all over my head.
Okay, that's clear as mud. But how do you move the house?
This is the control box.
Ah, that looks complicated.
When you move the house, I usually do it here, and my wife just check things out while I'm moving it. So since Veronique is not here,
So I'm gonna play the role of your wife.
Yes.
I'll do my best.
we'll use our phones, and then I'll come back and start moving it.
Okay, and there's no way I can screw this up. When are we
Ready?
going? Well, hold on. Yeah, I'm ready now. Okay, here we go. Holy Shiva, we're moving.
You see it turning?
Yeah, I do. Wow, this is wild. This is like a slow merry-go-round. It doesn't move so fast. I thought it would
I
move a lot
told you.
faster.
No, but this is the speed it goes. It's very slow because you're moving a house, so you can't really go too fast. The energy used to run this thing is the equivalent of a hairdryer. It's a very low gear engine, so it doesn't require a lot of power.
We're gonna say 1 second, and I'd say let's put the brakes on. Right there. Stop her up, Shiva. Beautiful. That's perfect.
Now you're going to be able to say to people, I came into one place and then I went out in the other place.
And it was the front door. It's still the front door.
It's still the front door, and I haven't changed houses. Everything is unusual about this house. The shape, the way you live in, the sense of serenity you have in this house, which is unique, which you don't find in other houses.
And unless you cross that door and you come in, you don't fully grasp what the dome space is about. It's about a different way of living.
It's not every day you get to see such a unique home inspired by nature that's right in the heart of nature with the lofty goal of preserving nature. Next, we go to Chile. The unique location and diverse landscape has almost completely separated this South American country from its neighbors. This distinctiveness has helped create a proud independent culture and character.
Just an hour and a half west of Santiago is the spectacular region of Tunquén, right on the ocean. This home was completely redesigned in 2008. It took on this very unique shape. Elena and her husband Daniel, that's them, have lived on this land for 20 years, and it was definitely time for a change.
We decided to enlarge the house because we have 4 grandchildren and 3 children.
And who better to redesign a family home than a member of the family? Their son Jose and his wife Delphine.
It's challenging to renew a house you know very much. You've lived for more than 15 years. A big change of the house.
It was a really big change of the house, and we just love the change. Hello, welcome to Tunquén, Chile, to Metamorphosis House. Come on in.
You almost need sunglasses with all the light coming in downstairs. And the kitchen's granite countertop stands out against all the wood.
We like it very much because we use it from both sides. We can fix food here, and it's very nice to be here working and cooking.
All the lighting here is low wattage, 6 watts, that are easily powered by our solar panels.
The smart design of high ceilings helps cool the home even on the hottest day. And how does it work?
This window, as the other, provides cross ventilation. There was one small window in this point. We made it a lot bigger so you can see nature coming into this place.
It's a boldo. It's a boldo tree.
You can make tea and good things for the stomach with boldo.
This is the master bedroom. It's not really big, it's really small. But we wanted it this way because we just use it to sleep, and we like the views from the windows. It's really peaceful.
The bigger windows are all closed, and the smaller windows are made for cross ventilation for cooling.
The master bath is ecologically friendly. Dual flush toilets and showers instead of tubs help minimize water usage. The outside of the home has 2 layers. The inner one is structural, and the outer protects the home from the ugly weather.
The house is very exposed to the sea wind and the constant humidity. Also, rain is very strong here. The ventilated facade is good for keeping this humidity out of the house.
All the wood is 5-minute walking from the house. Walking, not even taking a car.
For us, it was really good challenge to work with local workers and local materials.
This home has huge decks that seem to go on forever. 1 on each level.
Here we are on the cantilevered bedroom that provides us shade in summer and protects us from rain in the winter. From here you can see the photovoltaic cells that provides us with all the energy we need for the house that goes to the storage in the batteries.
This is the highest part of the house. It's one of our favorite spots.
And no wonder.
In the morning, we can feel the mist coming from the sea. We come here during the day to see the waves. You can see the water tower from here, and you see a little stick in the top of the water tower. When it's up, there is enough water.
And when it's not up, they use a solar power generator to pump the water up from the valley. Their hard work has them completely off the grid.
We have the solar panels because there's no electricity, and the water comes from the valley to the elevated tank.
It's possible to have really high standards without need of public electricity or services.
Sitting on the northwest shores of Lake Ontario, Toronto's a booming world-class city and the financial, cultural, and entertainment capital of Canada.
This city is probably most famous for how clean its environment is.
In one of Toronto's oldest neighborhoods, known as the Beach, a deceptively traditional home challenges the idea of what it means to go green.
You wouldn't know it by looking, but this is a prefab home built in 2003. While it looks like it's a comfortable country home, that's just the beginning for Mike Brigham and his wife Belle.
We didn't want the house to scream environmental technology. We simply wanted it to be comfortable and informal with a bit of a European flavor to it.
I was looking for the house with all the solar panels. Do I have the right place?
You do, but they're well hidden.
It looks like this house has been here 50, 60 years. I mean, you're really going to tell me this is a prefab home?
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear you say that. That was actually part of our intent in designing it. We looked at what made a house look new versus old. We actually have fooled a lot of people.
What about the reaction of this area? I mean, this is the beaches. It's tight little streets everywhere.
One of the things that neighbors did appreciate about a prefab home is that the build time is a fraction of what it normally would be. After putting in the foundations, the basic structure of the house went up in 6 hours. It was delivered in 6 large truckloads.
If I call this the living room, am I correct?
It's actually a multi-purpose room. For us, it's a living room, it's a media room, it's a family room. We wanted to keep the square footage of the house down because, of course, the bigger a house is, the more energy you'll have to expend to heat it and cool it.
The large south-facing windows bring in passive solar heat. That keeps the home warm in winter and cool in summer.
This house is designed to consume 65% less energy than the exact same size and shape of house just built to code.
Great. And to help keep those costs down is this eco-friendly natural gas fireplace.
What a lot of people don't know is that wood smoke is incredibly polluting. It's a renewable source, but it is not a clean energy source.
It's smart saving money on energy and just as smart to use the right materials in the home. And in this case, the kitchen.
We specifically stayed away from particle board or other materials that would off-gas formaldehyde. We used finishes, stains, and lacquer that were also zero off-gassing, all in an attempt to go for the best indoor air quality.
All the appliances energy efficient?
Yes, they're all Energy Star rated. The one appliance we put the most care in selection into is the refrigerator, because refrigerators are typically one of the largest single components of the house that use electricity.
This prefab home saves about 65% more energy than their neighbors. But how?
We have 30 solar electric panels, commonly called PV. We also have 2 panels that simply collect heat, and we use it to heat our hot water. We generate about 15% more than we consume.
The grass is obviously green, but is there an eco-friendliness to this grass?
This is actually a blend of a number of different types of grasses, and what's unique about this grass is that unlike regular grass, the stems are very, very thin. And once this grows up to a height of about 2 or 3 inches, the weight of the grass actually causes it to fall over sideways on itself.
You never have to cut it then if it's growing over.
If you're happy with the look, that's true. It's very green and it is very low maintenance.
The home has a great system to deal with rainwater. The gutters direct the water to a gravel-filled pit underneath the backyard, where it's absorbed more naturally back into the environment.
It's right about under where that small garden is, and it would be about 2 feet underground.
Mike, give me the lay of the land of the second floor. Guest room?
That is my wife's room. We sleep separately.
Okay, so that's not a guest room.
No. We have always preferred to sleep separately. That's not to say I don't get visiting privileges. I can assure you I do.
So then, why the separate bedrooms?
Belle likes not to be awakened by the sun. She likes to wake up very gradually, so she should be on the shady side of the house in the morning. I'm just the opposite. I'm a morning person. I like having the sun hit me in the eyes, so it was preordained that I was going to be on the east side of the house. I can see the lake in about 4 or 5 places.
What about designing the bathroom? I mean, this is your space. I mean, you had total control in here. What was that like?
It was great because I got exactly what I wanted. I put in a large skylight, so I've got a ton of natural light. I've got a large floor-to-ceiling glass shower enclosure where you can actually towel off and not touch anything. And the American Southwest is very close to my heart, so I went with stones that were all sort of the desert colors and stuff, and I'm very happy with how it came out.
Of course, you'd expect the showers wouldn't drain their budget, but their design is pretty cool.
I realized that a lot of hot water goes down the drain when you're having a shower. So the drains from our showers on this floor, the warm water is going down the drain, it flows down the center of a copper pipe, and the heat from that is transferred into cold incoming water so that your hot water tank, instead of getting freezing cold water, it's getting water that's about room temperature.
Belle and Mike have worked hard to preserve the comforts of an old-fashioned home that could have just consumed energy, but they've embraced the future by building a home that produces energy. This chair doesn't really go with the style of this house.
This is my magic massage chair.
So it's got like all kinds of options and...
Yeah.
Oh, of course it's got a remote control.
Oh, of course.
That kind of hurts. I like the hands. I like people. Like the fact that I got a machine like zipping around on my back doesn't relax me. I need some human element to this.
Okay, well, I'm not offering.